When more men come after him, Shum starts bombing the compound from afar, destroying most of the buildings and killing most of the army. Fuck Sang gets bigger guns and starts shooting down the survivors, not stopping even when he's wounded again. Unfortunately, more soldiers keep coming, so Fuck Sang is forced to hide behind a pile of bags. At that moment, the rest of the team bursts into the compound in a jeep, throwing grenades to cause more destruction. In the woods, Shum is trying to run away, but the soldiers surround him and open fire, causing him to lose his arm. This fallen hand loses its grip on a grenade and it blows up, killing all the guards with one explosion. At the compound, Lee notices that Cao Ching has caught on fire. He runs into a burning building just to put out the flames with his jacket, then he carries her out. Fuck Sang and the team keep shooting guards until the general appears in a truck to fire back. Bobby pushes Fuck Sang and is knocked out instead. Then Fuck Sang makes a risky jump to shoot the truck driver, followed by a shot at the tires. This causes the truck to crash and the general finally dies. Fuck Sang takes the general's ring and allows Lee to bring Cao Ching with them. On their way out, the last explosion finishes destroying the area in the Golden Triangle. Cao Ching is taken to the hospital to heal her injuries and Fuck Sang gets her a fake passport with Yuan's name. Lee doesn't approve, but Fuck Sang ignores him. Sometime later at an art gallery, Fuck Sang buys all of Yuan's paintings and tells Lee he'll send them to the resort so he can impress her. However, Lee thinks Yuan won't like receiving dirty money. Meanwhile, the Hong Kong police calls Wing Chit, a counterfeit expert from the Canadian Federal Police. Ho has been trying to find the gang that has been putting fake dollar bills in the market all over the world, so Wing Chit will help her. Together they start watching an antique store that belongs to Yam. Later, Ho and Wing Chit pretend to be potential buyers and start talking to various brokers until they're invited to a boat party that the infamous painter is supposed to attend. However, they're disappointed to discover that painter has sent Shum and Bobby instead of coming himself. Wing Chit pretends to be aggressively offended and the brothers bring out their guns just to test him. When they tease Ho, Wing Chit immediately defends her and proves he's cool by jumping into the water with her. They tell him that these clients are vouched for by one of Yam's antique clients, causing Fuck Sang to remember Wing Chit hanging outside the store. The team rushes back to the workshop and Yam learns that one of his clients set him up. Yam begs for mercy but Fuck Sang shoots him to death anyway. Lee freaks out and Fuck Sang tries to shoot him too, however Lee grabs the gun and the shot misses. Fuck Sang punches him instead. Afterward, the team burns down the workshop to get rid of all evidence. Later in the city, Ho puts trackers in Wing Chit's watch and phone before he meets with the painter, unaware that the gang knows they're cops. After he leaves, Ho looks at his lighter and finds a note asking her out. In a hotel, Wing Chit meets with the team and Fuck Sang tries to sell him the plate instead of the forged bills, saying he's retiring from the business. Since Wing Chit turns him down, Fuck Sang asks Lee to kill him. Since Lee hesitates, Wing Chit jumps on him to try to get the gun, only for Fuck Sang to shoot him down. Then Fuck Sang gets angry because Lee continues to be a coward. He drags him to the bedroom and reveals that he's captured Yuan and her fiancé, who are tied up and blindfolded. Fuck Sang tells Lee to kill the manager, however Lee points the gun at him instead. Fuck Sang knows he won't dare and proceeds to kill the manager, so Lee runs to rescue Yuan. The whole team opens fire while the duo takes cover. Suddenly Cao Ching shows up and stabs Hua from behind, causing her to shoot a chandelier that crashes on the table. Then she uses Hua's gun to kill the brothers, but Fuck Sang manages to hide behind the door. When Fuck Sang offers Lee for his freedom, Lee finally is brave enough to shoot Fuck Sang in the chest several times. Lee doesn't want to abandon Yuan, however Cao Ching convinces him they're in danger so they leave together. Afterward, Lee and Cao Ching hide in the resort. They follow the news and learn that the police didn't find Fuck Sang's body, also Yam's whole family was killed. One day Lee informs Cao Ching he's leaving because Yuan will hold a memorial for her fiancé and he's afraid that Fuck Sang will attack her there. In the city, he tries to pay for a cafe with forged money but the cops surround him and beat him up. When Lee is dragged to the police van, he sees Fuck Sang nearby waving a flyer for Yuan's show. In the present, Lee finishes his story and helps a cop make sketches of Cao Ching and Fuck Sang. Ho grants him bail but he must stay in town and report to the police every day. That night in the hotel, Lee apologizes to Yuan and they get naughty. Meanwhile, Ho is shocked to see Fuck Sang arrive in a police uniform and enter the station. She immediately sends her men to capture him but the guy is genuinely confused. He tells them all his personal information, confirming he's just a normal cop. Ho realizes that Lee saw him when they took him out of prison and used his description to lie during the story. It turns out there's no Fuck Sang. Lee was the painter all along.